there, I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist and science teacher Ryan Miller. Your Science for Everyone segment today, it's tornado season. We're going to focus and look at tornadoes and tornado events that have occurred in the United States since 1950. And here's the number: 68,665 tornadoes have occurred and tornado events in the United States, and that includes the DMV since 1950. And yes, we've seen some changes in where these tornadoes are forming, the frequency of these tornadoes, and even some of the other physical parameters and characteristics. Now, let's take a look at the data. With all of these 68,000 plus events, I went through using Geographic Information Systems, GIS, and for every decade, starting in the 1950s, I looked at the mean location, where the average location was for all the tornadoes in our country, and the length of the tornado, the average length, and also the direction it traveled. Now, in the 1950s and 60s, and even looking at the 80s here and 90s, most of the tornadoes, the mean center of tornado activity and tornado events was in locations into and a part of Missouri, out and close to Springfield, Missouri. But over the last several decades, and pushing towards the current conditions that we've been seeing in the 2020s, the mean center of tornadoes has shifted towards the east, almost in over 140 miles. So we're seeing more tornado events, more frequency of tornadoes further east than that traditional tornado alley that we know so well across the midsections of our country. I also looked at the number of tornadoes each year, tornado events. This is from NOAA, from the Storm Prediction Center. And as you look from the 1950s, that's the bottom axis here on the horizontal, through 2025, yes, we're seeing more tornado events. Now, is it because we're having more tornadoes, or is it because we have better technology? Doppler radar, dual pole radar, that is what helps us keep track of these events and to keep protection of lives and property. In the 90s, Doppler radar became more uniform and used, and in the 2000s, we've certainly seen a widespread use of it. Perhaps that is contributing to more records and more actually detection of these tornadoes. I went out, I got my protractor. From the 1950s and 80s, most of the tornado events, the average had it traveling at about 50 degrees. That is just a little bit beyond northeast. But in the 2000s, we've seen a movement change in tornado direction to 64 degrees. Closer to the east, tornadoes are moving in a different direction. Why is this? Well, we don't necessarily know, but all of these 68,000 tornadoes that impact areas across the U.S., including the DMV. We'll have to keep an eye on things here because it is severe storm season, and we'll certainly monitor and keep track of any events to make sure your life and your property is safe and sound. I'm Storm Team 4 meteorologist Ryan Miller.